I was pregnant when I almost died, but the NHS played a huge role in saving my life and that of my baby. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Ngozi, okay, known as Nurse NG Info Hub, the name of my channel. I know it's been a while, like 6 months, but I'm going to tell you guys all the gist as we move along. Okay, let's dive into today's video. It all started with a minor illness. I wasn't taking it serious. It was just fatigue and little cough, which wasn't alarming. However, things became worse so fast. I started running temperature, started hallucinating, and even got dehydrated. It got to a point I called out of hours service, not 999, out of hours service. I called them because I was thinking I had this injection that one of the out of hours doctors was meant to come and give to me. So the person I was speaking to didn't get it clearly what I was driving at. It was like, out of our doctors don't just come to your house to give you injection. Anyway, he asked my symptoms, which I told him, and he decided to send in paramedics to my house. When they came in, they did my obs. My temperature was over 39 degrees Celsius, and my pulse was running almost over 150. And I was meant to work that night, to tell you how I didn't even take it serious that it was going to worsen within a twinkle of an eye. So the paramedics did not waste any time. They decided to rush me into the hospital immediately. So when I was on my way going, I called my home, my care home, my manager, and told them that I won't be able to come to work that night. Okay, so they have to cover the shift. When we got into the hospital A&E, I was faced with the most challenging part of the NHS, which is the long waiting hours. At this point, what I needed was answers and treatments, but I had to wait for something that felt like eternity. When you get to the A&E, you first of all see the nurses that will check your obs. They do that to prioritize who gets to be seen first. So after that, if there's any other investigation that needs to be done, they will do it, right? So after this first stage, it took like more than 4 to 6 hours for me to be seen by a doctor. So finally, after this long and anxious wait, I was seen by a doctor. Not just any doctor, guys. He was a Nigerian doctor. So immediately he came out, I could see that concern on his face. He looked at me and said, "Sister, all is not well." I shook my head in agreement. So he took me into his office, looked at the results he was holding. Now my results were out, the obs they did were out. And according to that result, I was meant to go home so that they can what observe. If it becomes worse, I am meant to come back into the hospital. So I called this Nigerian doctor my life saving doctor, because his persistence is what saved my life, guys. So when he looked at the results again, he couldn't tell me to go home. He looked at me, he knew I was not well. So he started clacking me all over again, asked me if I was in pain, which I had already told the nurses that clacked me that I'm feeling severe pain towards my chest region. So I told him, yes, I am in severe pain. So he asked me to lie down again to check me all over. So he started his examination. Immediately he wanted to touch my chest region. I screamed out in pain. The pain was unbearable. I had no strength. I could see my life coming to an end, but I didn't know how to put this in words. But he could see through me, right? My other result, I came back, happens that I was pregnant. The shocking and most pleasant news of my life, guys. So at this stage, he needed to consult his seniors to see if they can send me for x-ray, being that I'm pregnant. So after he did his consultation and he came back, he said, yes, they have approved that I can go for the x-ray, because they needed to know why I was in so much pain. He didn't just ask me to go. This doctor held my hand because I couldn't walk. He held my hand and took me down to the x-ray section. You know how the hospital is now. So he walked me down the unit. So the x-ray revealed that I had a very bad chest infection and pneumonia, which needed for me to be admitted immediately. So they set an IV line on and was making the ward ready for me. So at this point, this my life-saving doctor has finished the shift and was to go home. So he handed me over to another doctor. So when the word was ready on our way going, I felt so dizzy and collapsed. That was the last thing I remembered. The next thing I saw, I was already lying down on the hospital bed, with them trying to set IV, so many people around me, trying to put in the fluid. And I was like, what's happening? He said, just relax, just relax, just relax. God, you know, so many things were going through my mind. When you give up and you're coming back, I was like, oh my God, is this my life coming to an end? My kids, mothers, you guys, I wasn't even thinking about myself. I was thinking about my kids. What happened to my child? Oh my God. Now, reflecting over it, honestly, and I'm so grateful for God, giving me another chance. I call it another chance to live and hold these precious moments of life with my children. While in the hospital, I had so many doses of antibiotics. I stayed in the hospital for a few days. And even when I left, I had series of hospital appointments afterwards, and I continued to take the antibiotics when I left the hospital. Now, reflecting back, I can not only be grateful to NHS One and to that Nigerian doctor that didn't accept the initial results. Okay, so his persistence of questioning and observing me further was what changed the whole thing for me, because I can't even imagine what would have happened if I had left that hospital with that temperature of maybe just taking paracetamol and all that. Anyways, what I have learned from this whole situation is, please listen to your body, okay? Your body knows when things are off. Those initial signs, don't ignore it, okay? Because looking back now, I would have stopped this before it got worse, but I ignored it. I was like, it's just mere cough. It's the flu season as well. This happened during winterish period. I was like, it's my cough is gonna go, because I always have cough that comes and go. I say so it was going to go. So I didn't really take it serious. So always listen to your body when it's giving you signs and take it seriously. And secondly, as an immigrant, just know how the NHS functions. Okay. If you're ever in doubt of anything, they have the out of hours there that you can call for questions. Just call them, which is the 111. Call them and ask them, please, so things you're having this. They will give you guideline if you should go into the hospital, or if you should call your GP, or if you go to the pharmacy to get any medication. Also, your GPs there, they have the working centers. You can go in and see a doctor if needed. Okay, so know how the NHS function and how to get the best out of it. Okay, if you ever feel that something is wrong with you or your child, even when the results in front of you is saying otherwise, please persist. Okay, keep saying it, advocate for yourself. If you need to see another doctor, do. If you need to go to a different, maybe you went to your GP and they tell you, okay, let's monitor, but you know that something is seriously off, you can go to the hospital, you can go to working center. Okay, always advocate for yourself. Okay, so let me know in the comment section, have you ever had any life-threatening illness here in the UK as an immigrant, and what did you do to save yourself? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.